You just finished your first rehearsal of the day. It will be a very long day. How is the atmosphere on the stage? I saw you laughing a lot.
It is, well, the atmosphere is great because we love being here. We love coming to Bucharest. It's a fabulous hall. It's the most beautiful hall, so it's very exciting to be here. So I think the orchestra gets a lot of energy from that, from just being in a lovely, beautiful space. That's great fun, yeah.
I know. I want to find more about your orchestra, the Academy St. Martin in the Fields.
Yes.
I know it was founded in 1958 in London by a group of musicians who played without a conductor. It has the name of a church in London. Why is that?
Apparently that is because it was the first place that they played their concert. And they needed a name, and the idea behind the name Academy of St. Martin's, Academy, most people get confused as it being an educational institution. But in fact, Academy is also the term where people of like minds came together to explore and to challenge each other. And so you would have the Academy of Scientists, for example, who would share ideas. And that was the idea behind it. And the church, because that's where they first played. So.
They came here with your founder,
That's right.
Sir Neville Mariner. He rarely gives interviews because he says he has to keep his energy for the baton. How long do you know Mr. Mariner?
I've known him since I first started, 1993. So I've been in the orchestra a few years, and I've known him ever since then. And it's extraordinary because he hasn't lost one little bit of energy. It's amazing. And I always keep asking him, what is his secret? What does he eat that's so special? Because he never seems to tire. It is phenomenal. It really is phenomenal.
Yeah, I see that. He seems a very exquisite musician, but he has a very simple way of being.
Absolutely.
As I see it. I quote an older interview about St. Martin in the Fields, the Academy. The only credit that we claim is that we decided always to have good players and never to go on the platform under-rehearsed. Is that so simple, to have an orchestra at that level?
It isn't always so simple, but it is something that Neville has always maintained. He has always, that's one of the great things about this orchestra. It is based on merit. It's always about the playing and being prepared and full commitment. And this is, this is why I love playing in it, because everybody is a participant, nobody's a passenger. And that I think is what makes this orchestra very exciting to play in.
You are one of the most recorded orchestra in the world. You have more than 500 recordings with Sir Neville Mariner. Right. And then you received an award in 1993, the year you came in the orchestra, from the Queen herself. Yeah. And there is a book about you. Are the musicians in the orchestra impressed by all the success you have?
I think we are proud of the achievements, but I wouldn't say impressed, because playing music is a lifelong journey. You never come to the end of it, and that's a wonderful thing about what we do. You can play a wonderful concert in a wonderful space, like hopefully we will do tonight, and in such a marvelous space. But then once it's over, and we just wait for the next opportunity and the next time we can come back. And that's one of the great things about music and live music, that you get to witness this in a moment in history, and then it is then it's gone.
Then you play for the audience that moment, that
absolutely,
night.
Yes.
Yes. Now an inside question. Is it hard to be appointed in this orchestra? I think it's a very long and difficult process. How is it? How do you get appointed here?
Well, people come and audition, and then we have a system of what we call, they have a trial. A person, if they are good in the audition, then they get an opportunity to come in the orchestra, and then we see how they fit in the orchestra and how they play within the orchestra. That is very important. Because the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields travels a lot, and we do lots of tours and international tours, it is also important how they get along with the other musicians. So there are many facets to it. It is, of course, the most important is how they play, and then all the others play a part of how you travel, how you are with your colleagues. you know, you are in your commitment to your work and all of these things. They all play a part. So it is a long process, yes. It is not just playing an audition and you're just appointed. You know, I would say that to become a member, it takes, certainly with me, it took a couple of years before they appoint you a member. So.
Who decided that?
Well, in my time, it was Neville. So, I will never forget my audition with Neville, absolutely.
I thought the orchestra has always something to say, the members.
Now it has. The principals meet and they will have, and of course now we have a new music director, Joshua Bell, and he will also have a say in that, so yeah.
I know you play a lot without a conductor, and when you choose one, they are usually active instrumentists, like your principal guest conductor, Maury Peraya, or
Yes.
Joshua Bell. Do you prefer that the conductor plays along with you instead of staying in front of you?
Well, that is entirely dependent on repertoire. The repertoire we are playing tonight, we absolutely could not do without a conductor. There are practical limits on how big the orchestra can be in order to play without a conductor. So that pretty much determines it. I would say that really in the attitude of playing, that there really shouldn't be any difference whether you play with a director or sometimes, but unfortunately sometimes there is. But I think each individual member of the orchestra has an attitude that they are fully participant, they're always engaged and they're always playing. And so you don't wait around to just follow, because you're almost always late. So if you just do that, so I think that's the difference.
You will play Mendelssohn, and actually you'll play the most well-known composition of Mendelssohn.
One thing that is not done often, which we are doing tomorrow night, is we are doing bits of the entire piece. So we are playing, and Neville has made a lovely arrangement because I think all of it is very long. It takes an entire program. So he has chosen the best bits of it. But normally in the Midsummer Night's Dream, normally orchestras will just play the overture. It's a fantastic piece, and probably the overture and the scherzo, but we are doing, you know, a few more movements from that, which is great because I believe the chorus is involved and we've got some singers, so it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, it's interesting because this piece, probably not a lot of people know, it was written first, the overture, when he was really young.
Absolutely, yeah.
17, and
Yes.
then after 17 years, 4 years before he
right,
died.
Exactly, that's
Yeah.
right. Yes, and then he filled it out, and then he did so many things to it, but he kept adding to it, which was fabulous. Thank God for that. So,
Do you feel a big difference in the way he writes?
Mendelssohn is probably one of the true child geniuses, absolute geniuses. You think what he wrote in his teens when he was young, write the string octet when he was 16 years old, which is just a phenomenal piece of music. And this overture he's written, and string quartets, so many extraordinary things. And he had this extraordinary ability that it just seemed to flow from him. Like Mozart, and Mozart and Mendelssohn are up there in terms of composers that you get an impression that they just didn't struggle with it, they just did it. It just came through them. And so without question, I love playing Mendelssohn just for that reason.
Do you think that classical music can make a change in people's life?
I absolutely do think classical music it does make a change. If they have an opportunity to experience it, it does. The reason I say that is not because I think classical music has some great intellect, or one requires a great intellect to understand it. Not at all. I think classical music, like any great art form, it breaks all barriers and it is relevant to our lives. Because most of these composers, what are they writing? They're writing about love, they're writing about betrayal, they're writing about everything that we experience in life, about desires for our children to have better education, to have opportunities. These musicians, these great composers, that's what they've written in their music. And so I think that, especially for young kids, every effort that we can make to bring music to them, it is our duty to do that, because I absolutely believe that it can change not only their lives, but hopefully the world. So I absolutely believe in that. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much.